Everyone, Keith Saarloos coming to you live and direct from the Windmill Ranch Vineyard on the beautiful Ballard Canyon AVA. Wanted to show you a new perspective on our wines in this wine club shipment. We did something we've never heard of anyone doing, and we wanted to be the first and share it with you. We have 3 wines in this wine club shipment. We have our roots, we have our branches, and we have our heartwood. Now what's unique about that is the branches comes from 2 different vineyards, and the roots comes from right here on Ballard Canyon. And we want to show you a totally different way to enjoy our wines. The first wine is the High Hill, which you can see right over my shoulder. The High Hill is a special part of our vineyard. It usually gets a little bit riper first. The other part of our vineyard is right behind me, the one we post all the photos of, which is the Fat Man. Right behind that, we have the Little Boy. All 3 of these Syrahs, in the past, we picked them all together, blended them, and made one wine that would be Saarloos & Sons Syrah that we would release. This year, or in 2012 actually, we decided to keep them all very separate. And we wanted to show the difference, even the difference between that little road separating the Fat Man and the High Hill. Even that makes a difference in flavor and taste and texture, and basically an entirely new wine. So if you think about them as like brothers, from the same family, but all totally different. So the High Hill, right behind me, 50% new French oak. We use 50% new French oak on the Fat Man and 50% new French oak on the Little Boy. We wanted to treat them exactly the same. We picked the Fat Man and the Little Boy exactly on the same day. We picked the High Hill a little bit earlier, but when you bring them all together, all 3 have a unique characteristic, a unique personality, and they're totally different. So we named them the Roots because this entire vineyard on Ballard Canyon, the Windmill Ranch, used to be Syrah. It's the first varietal we ever planted. We planted 14 acres of it. And one fateful night, we had a frost, really a freeze come through, and we lost 20% of our vineyard in one night to frost. We still had to farm it. We still had to take care of it. We had to do everything as if we were going to have a crop. That night, after the frost, my dad and myself had a conversation, and we decided to actually go into the vineyard, cut all of those vines off, and bud graft them, which means we would take a bud from a Grenache plant, we would cut it out, we would make a slice, a little T inside of that Syrah vine, and slide it in and tape it tight. So when the sap comes up, it would hit that soft part and boom, we would have a brand new varietal in our vineyard. So that took us from being a 1 varietal family with Syrah, our bread and butter, and made us a 2 varietal family. So we knew we could grow Syrah and Grenache, both of which we're completely sold out of. The Grenache on Windmill Ranch, knowing we could do both of them, led us to the availability of buying another vineyard. That vineyard needed some help. We actually tore out that entire vineyard and replanted Grenache, Grenache Blanc, Sauvignon Blanc, and Mourvèdre. So now we weren't just a 1 vineyard family that grew 2 varietals. We're now a 2 vineyard family that grows a bunch of different varietals, which really, if we never did that, Saarloos & Sons would never have opened, and we never would have met you. So we have 2 different branches. We have one from Windmill Ranch here, and we have one from El Camino Real Vineyard over there. Now these 2 varietals, genetically, are the same clone, but they're in 2 different places and have 2 totally different weather patterns, 2 totally different levels of heat, soil composition. So basically, it's taking 2 twins and separating them and having them grow up with different families. So these 2 varietals taste very different, but in the winery, we treated them exactly the same. So we have the branches from Windmill Ranch and the branches from El Camino Real. The final wine is probably our most exciting, which is our Mourvèdre. We named it the Heartwood. Mourvèdre is a very difficult grape to grow. It is a problem child. It needs tons of attention. It needs its face in the sun and its feet in the water at all times. And if it doesn't feel like getting ripe this year, it just doesn't get ripe. This Mourvèdre Heartwood is the first time we've ever released this varietal on its own, and we're extremely proud of it. It's right in the middle of our vineyard. The heartwood on a plant is the hard center that gives a tree strength. It doesn't carry sap anymore, or it carries very little sap, but it gives that tree the base, that strength. We planted our Mourvedre right in the middle of our vineyard, right next to the river. It is the centermost point in the El Camino Real vineyard, which gives it its own challenges. We love Mourvedre. It is unique and special, and it is on the cusp of something so magnificent and a flavor not many people have tried, and we are more than excited to share that with you. So when you take these three varietals, the branches, the heartwood, and the roots, what you get is the components of a tree. The wine we just released in the tasting room a few days ago is called the Family Tree, and it is our GSM, Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. You'll be receiving that in the November Wine Club shipment, but for now you are receiving the individual pieces of the trio. Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre are three varietals we really are going to hang our hat on. I mentioned that we're in the Ballard Canyon AVA, something we haven't really shared that much information about. Ballard Canyon, from right behind me all the way down, we share it with Stoltman, Honada, Rusak, and Beckman. We shared this area with them, and basically we got together, and now we have proven to the United States government that this is a special American viticultural area, and it is Syrah based. So we happened to plant the right varietal in 1999 for an area that is perfect for growing that varietal. We're more than excited to share this Wine Club shipment with you. We have a few more things coming up. We had an exciting time at our pickup party. We hope you enjoyed yourself as well. We also are going to be releasing tickets to Vineyard Day, our 4th annual Vineyard Day. It's going to be a great time. If you've been before, it sells out very, very quickly, but it's a time that we can come out. 100% due to harvest restrictions. We're going to keep some varietals out there just for you and make sure we have a great time. So, being first, separating Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre, separating the varietals from Fat Man, Little Boy, High Hill, from El Camino Real Vineyard, from Windmill Ranch Vineyard. You are seeing into the soul of the Saarloos family and the varietals that we grow. So, for Keith Saarloos and Larry Saarloos running the camera today behind me, we live to honor those that have come before us, and we prepare the way for those yet to come. Thanks for being a part of our family.